Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a player-to-player lobby using Facepunch Steamworks in Unity. Now the requirements for this are you will need 2 computers, and the reason for that is Steamworks has to be launched on Steam and use Steam accounts. And unfortunately you can only log into 1 Steam account on each computer. So you'll need 2 computers to use 2 Steam accounts to actually have 2 players connecting to each other. The other requirement is you will need Facepunch Steamworks installed. If you don't have that installed, just watch another YouTube video. I'll link some in the description. It's really easy to set up. Now, although the concept for making this lobby is really simple, there are very few code examples online, which made it very confusing for me to try and make this from scratch. So that's why I'm making this video. I'll show you the scripts I made. I only had to use 2 or 3 scripts. But if it does get confusing at first, don't be shy, because most of it is just debug logs, and we will go through it step by step. So, the very first thing you need to do is create a script that connects you to your Steam account. So, I'll show this in person. So, you can see right now, it shows I'm not playing a game. Blue means I'm idle, not doing anything. If I start up my server on Unity and host a game, or join a game, and it will work, you will see I'm now playing a game. It shows me as playing it and connected to the game. And that's the very first step we need to do, because this allows us to use all the Steamworks features. So if we go back, let me pause this quickly. If we go back to our Unity, basically you need to make an app ID. This just shows you what game are you connecting to, right? Because there's millions of games on Steam, and this is what the app ID does. So 480 is the free Space War game on Steam. If you haven't uploaded a game, just use 480 because that's the free one. But if you have your own game, you can find it and use the app ID. So you make a public int, and then you're going to use Steam client.init. And this just initializes the Steam client to say, hey, connect my Steam account to this and let me use the features. And we're doing this in a try and catch statement. So if it errors, it will debug it. And this is all inside of an awake, right? Because we will put this in a game object, this script on startup. So it actually runs a script. Because if we don't put this in a game object, it will never run. And then obviously, once we finish the game, we shut down the Steam client, so we're no longer playing. So I think that's a pretty simple idea, and yeah, you can see I've just put it on a script here, on a game object here. Now, that's the easy part, and both the client and the host has to do this. The next part is actually making the host and the lobby. Now, when working with Facepunch Steamworks, there's a very important idea you need to understand, and it's events and callbacks. So events are things that happen, and callbacks are the code we run when that event happens. So if we look here, we can see an event is on lobby created. So whenever a lobby is created, we will run this function that we've created here, down below. Now, if I wanted to, I could never run this. And if we did that, then whenever the event happens of the lobby being created, no code would ever run because I never assigned a function for it to run, which is what we've done here. So that's what we do at the very start in await. We set up callback functions that will run when these events happen. So let's explore the callbacks I've created. So the first one is on lobby create. So whenever we create a lobby, we will check if we have never created one before. If I don't have a lobby created yet that's running, then I will assign this lobby up here so that I can use it throughout my code. We can use that lobby. And then I'll also automatically invite my friend. You don't have to do this part here. I just did it to make testing really easy. Realistically, you would put this on a button press or something. And then below the second callback, all we've done is just debug.log when my friend is joining. So whenever a friend tries joining, just print out that they're joining. make it easier to understand. Now, let's actually get into the meat of things. So to create your lobby, you run this function here. So await means pause all execution in start until this is actually created. And then this 2 here tells us how many players can join the lobby. So 2 means only 2 players can be in the lobby. If I want, I can change this to 10. That means 10 players can join the lobby. I'm going to keep it to 2. Now, how do I invite my friend? I invite my friend by doing a for loop. So for each player in my Steam friends list, we're going to check if it's a specific player in my friends list. In this case, I want to invite someone called Dino. So I check the string, and then when we find that player, we're going to set my lobby as joinable in public so people can actually join it, and then I will invite him to the game. So this will send a invite link in your Steam DMs to join the game. And inside, I've sent my lobby ID as a string. So they know what lobby are they joining. Because if I don't send this, they will have no clue what my lobby ID actually is and what my lobby is. Now, one problem with this code, which I probably should fix, it works, but this will return... Okay, I'm not going to start over. Now, one thing to be aware of is that we are storing the lobby in the callback here on lobby create. Now, because of this, a slight problem that happens is the callback might not be instantaneous, right? So we create the lobby here, then the callback happens. But if I were to, let's say, do something with my lobby, try and get some information, whatever, it might not work. This might actually be null because the callback might be slightly delayed, right? So it might make the lobby, then you try accessing your variable, and then maybe the callback happens down here, okay? So because of that, if you're gonna copy my code, make sure everything that uses my lobby is done inside on lobby create, because this ensures the lobby actually has been put into a variable. If you don't want to do that, that's completely fine. You can actually set, because I think this returns a lobby, so you can actually return it here. Lobby. You can return the lobby into a variable here. Now, the only problem is you see this question mark? All that means in C# is that what is returned could be a lobby, or it could be null. So if it errors, let's say it can't create the lobby, it might return nothing or null. And therefore, if you try using my lobby, let's say you try doing like find the ID or whatever, it might error and break down because you're referencing null. So you actually need to pass this to make sure it's not null. So you'd have to do like an if statement, if not null, then convert it to like a normal lobby without the question mark to use it. But I found that was too much effort, so I did it this way. But that's something you can do. Okay, and now it's time to go to the script for the client, because the script we did before was making the server, hosting it, the lobby, sorry. And now we're going to be on the client, trying to join that lobby. So the very first part is very similar. We're setting up the callbacks, and then we're going to allocate the callbacks to the events. Now, there's 2 different events I've done here, and there's probably more you might need to do for certain cases, but I haven't tested it too much. So basically, this first one gets called if you accept an invite when your game is closed. Well, this one will happen if you accept an invite while your game is open. So this one, so when the game is closed, I just log trying to join the lobby, and then I try and join it. I'm not sure if this actually works, this one, because I haven't been able to test it. But I do know the second one does work. And this is when your game is already open. So, when your game is open, how do we join? Basically, we just log, hey, I'm trying to join the lobby, so we know it's working. And then we do an if statement, and we pass the session ID. What on earth does this mean? So, if we remember back here, when I sent the friend request, we put the string in, our session ID, okay? So this ID, that's the string here. That's actually what they receive. How good. So all we're doing here is just converting it from a string to a ulong type. Think of it as an int. It's just a long int. Then I say, hey, turns out it is valid. And then we're just checking, try and join. It just says, using that ID they gave us for the lobby, try and join that lobby. And if it doesn't work, then it's going to return null, and womp womp. Something's gone very wrong. Good luck figuring that out. And yeah, but if this password fails, so if we aren't able to convert that string we sent into an int, then something's gone wrong beforehand when you were trying to make the server, the lobby. When you're trying to make the lobby, something's gone wrong and you didn't get a valid session ID. And that's pretty much it. So the code itself actually isn't too hard. It's a bit messy, but it's not too bad. I guess I should say don't destroy on load. So this basically means whenever you go to a new scene, right, do not destroy these game objects. So that just means that you can still have access to your lobbies, even if you're changing scenes in Unity. So now, I'm going to demonstrate what this actually looks like. What does this look like in real person? Whoa, let's have a go. And before I show you what this looks like, what the invites work, and what the logs look like, I'm going to quickly show you the game objects I've set up. Because obviously, you need to put these scripts on game objects, or else the scripts never run. So I just created, these are all empty game objects, these three things, and they just have the scripts on them. So this first one is just setting up the Steam initializing. This ready to join has the client script. So that's just the client ready to join. And then this third script is just for the on button presses. So basically, when I click host game, we will spawn in the object that has the host script on it. So if I go to assets and server, which just has create server on it. All right, let's demonstrate it. How exciting! So if I go to console, you can see Steam is running. I'm going to click host game, and we've created the lobby, and we've just logged what the session ID is. Now, I'm going to go and show you what it looks like on the other screen. Yep. And now here, when you look back, you can see, once he accepted that invite, it actually says he's joining the lobby. How good. The only thing we need to understand though is that this final callback, so let's go back to the make lobby. That is the callback for when onLobby member joined. Now this just means that the member has joined the lobby, but it doesn't mean that anything has loaded in, okay? So that my friend cannot actually see this screen here. He's still stuck on the main lobby screen because you need to use Unity netcode or whatever to actually share all the objects and move him into the scene and everything. And they need to wait until all that stuff is loaded in, because even though it says he has joined the lobby or joining, it doesn't actually mean that it's finished loading in all this stuff. So yes, but hopefully that gives you an idea of what to actually do and how to go about creating this. Yeah, there's ways to make lobby lists and make it so you can join and search for stuff, but that was not what I was going for, and this is just a very basic example to get you on the right tracks. So yeah, good luck in making your game.